All right, we are live. How's everybody doing? I'm your instructor, Pierre Huey, aka Mr. P. The P is for patience, and thank you for being patient with me. Had some technical difficulties, had to get it together real quick. So let me share my screen, and we are going to get started. All right. So as always, what I like to do. No, that ain't what. No, 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 no. Go back, go back, go back. There we go. Okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. Come on, work with me. How's y'all playing with me today? Thank you. Perfect. All right, as I like to do, start with the CIB. CIB stands for Candidate Information Bulletin. There we go. All right, as you can see, that's what the CIB stands for. I teach according to the CIB because that is what they're looking for the Barber Theory exam in South Carolina, which is where I am based. If you are interested in me taking a look at your state, I definitely am into that. So we can talk about that. You can send me a DM anywhere. You can find me anywhere at Pierre Huey, Pierrehouey on all platforms. Okay. All right. So let's skip this. Today we will be talking about infection control, particularly the disinfecting part. Yeah, we'll be talking about disinfectants, and my Carolina Barber Institute students, if y'all are around, feel free to jump on stage with me. Just know that it'll be live and it's being recorded. All right. So as I always do, I start off with the domains and the domain details. All right. Following outlines the scope of content covered by NIC. NIC is the testing agency. All right. You have 4 core domains. Number 1, scientific concepts, which is 35% of your exam material. All right. We will be talking about infection control and safety practices, bullet point A. We will also be talking about part 2 of A, which is principles of infection control, disinfection. That is the main one we'll be talking about today. All right. Some of these other ones will come into play, but the main focus of today is disinfection. All right. So scientific concepts, 35%. Implements, tools, and equipment used in barbering, 10% of exam content. Hair care services, 40% of exam content. All right. And last, facial hair and skincare services, 15% of content. All right. The one that we are talking about today, as I said earlier, scientific concepts. Oh, let me do one more thing, y'all. Let me do one more thing. If you don't mind. And since nobody is on with me right now, I don't think y'all mind. So let me get this set up.
Greetings, South Carolina. I'm here.
Here. Let's change this. 17, 26. Check. Done. Let's go. All right. Okay, so here we go. Talking about disinfection. Okay, we went over the CIB for my TikTokers. We already went over the CIB, but if you need to see it, if you need any of the information that I previously shared today about the CIB, just go to my YouTube. It's same thing. My name at Pierre Huey, Pierre. Okay, cool. Disinfectant, step 2. The second step of infection control is disinfection. Remember that disinfection is the process that eliminates most, but not necessarily all, microorganisms on non-porous surfaces. Let me go ahead and tell y'all off the bat. Anytime y'all dealing with a question with disinfection and sterilization, disinfection kills most, but not all. Sterilization kills all. You have to use an autoclave. All right. They will ask you that same question in as many words a bunch of different times just to see if you understand that. That's what they're testing you for. That will be the thing that they'll try to trip you up on. All right. They want to know that you clearly understand the difference between a disinfection killing most or a sterilization killing all. All right. This process, however, is not effective against bacterial spores. That is the 0.1%. If you ever saw them commercials, it's just like, oh yeah, this disinfectant kills 99.9% of germs and microbes, blah, 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 blah. What it doesn't kill is bacterial spores. What the spores will do, they will coat themselves, bacterial spores will coat themselves in a wax-like substance and just say, all right, while I'm not able to come out and play, so to speak, and everything's clean and disinfecting all this stuff, I'm going to protect myself until all this shit get dirty. When it get dirty, when it got a moist and warm environment that I'm able to thrive in, I'll be back. So bacterial spores are not killed by disinfectants. If you understand that, you'll have a lot more success with some of these questions that's dealing with disinfection and dealing with sterilization. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I know the fuck you didn't. I love that name. Welcome to the live. All right. In the barbershop, disinfection is extremely effective in controlling microorganisms on surfaces such as shears, clippers, and other multi-use tools and equipment. A disinfectant used in the shop should carry an EPA registration number, and the label should clearly state the specific organisms that the solution is effective against when used according to the manufacturer's product instructions. All right. Extra credit if y'all can tell me what the EPA stands for. All right. Remember that disinfectants are products that destroy most bacteria, not including spores, fungi, and viruses on surfaces. Disinfectants are not for use on human skin, hair, or nails. Let me say it again. Disinfectants are not for use on human skin, hair, or nails. That's the difference between a disinfectant that has chemicals and an antiseptic or a sanitizer, which has certain chemicals. A sanitizer and an antiseptic you can use on skin, hair, and nails. A disinfectant you cannot. All right. Never use disinfectants as hand cleaners, since this can cause skin irritation and allergies, a reaction due to extreme sensitivity to certain foods, chemicals, or other normally harmless substances. All disinfectant manufacturers clearly state on the labels. Once again, clearly state on the labels. Just look at the back. Look on the back. Okay. You are correct. Renegade 5849. EPA does stand for Environmental Protection Agency. They are the ones that tell the companies that make these disinfectants, put all the relevant information on the can, on the bottle, on the labeling, on the packaging. It's the EPA that is responsible for that, not OSHA, not the CDC. So don't get that confused. It's the EPA. You register something that's a disinfectant, you got to go through the EPA. All right. And once again, all disinfectant manufacturers clearly, all caps, clearly state on the labels of their products that skin contact should be avoided. This means your skin as well as the client's skin. Do not put your fingers directly into any disinfectant solution or anything of the sort. Disinfectants are pesticides and can be harmful if absorbed through the skin. If you mix a disinfectant in a container that is not labeled by the manufacturer, the container must be properly labeled with the contents and the date it was mixed. All concentrated disinfectants must be diluted exactly as instructed by the manufacturer on the product label. Okay. Laisha, how you doing? Welcome to the live. Jazzy, welcome to the live. Beauty, welcome to the live. How y'all doing? All right. While some customers who know that they have impaired immune systems will share that information with you, many will not, because they are embarrassed, they do not know it is important, or they do not know that they have a compromised immune system. Listen, I can tell y'all with a straight face, it is a high number of people that are, when they sit down in your chair, this is for my barbers, this is for my stylists, this is for my professionals. If there is something going on with a person and your clients, there is a very high chance they will not say a word about it. They will not. You have to plan on them not saying a word about any possible ailment that they may have. All right. So let me read that one again. Let's go right back. I'm gonna read this exactly as it said. I couldn't agree more. While some customers who know that they have impaired immune systems will share that information with you, many will not because they are embarrassed, they do not know it is important, or they do not know that they have a compromised immune system. These people are at very high risk of infection if they come into contact with pathogens. Okay, pathogens being harmful substances. Because you will not always know who these people are, it is important for you as the professional to practice proper infection control before and after every customer. Let me repeat. Because you will not know who these people are, it is important to practice proper infection control before every customer. One example is a diabetic customer whose immune system does not work effectively and who also has impaired healing. Most type 2 diabetics have been diabetic for 7 years prior to being diagnosed, which means that even if you ask, they will likely say no because they have not yet been diagnosed. Even if they have, they will just assume that they will not tell you. Okay, SE Nail Tech, how you doing? This is why we use universal precautions. Thank you very much. And I can't wait to actually talk about universal precautions because it's important enough on the test that they're going to ask you universal precaution questions, at least 2 to 3. All right, so I don't think I've went over universal precautions yet, but if I have, at some point I will come back to it. Okay. All right. Another example concerns clients on medication for conditions such as asthma, rheumatoid arthritis, or fibromyalgia. I always get that wrong. Y'all have to bear with me. Some of these scientific terms I be trying to get, but it'd be tough. But I think it's fibromyalgia. All right. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. These medications are designed to dull the immune system, making these customers particularly susceptible to infection. Remember, you do not know everybody who sits in your chair, so provide the best in disinfection for everyone. Now, for a barber, let me give you an example about that. Let's go a little further with that before I go further into choosing a disinfectant. Okay, so I give you an example. Say you got somebody that they have razor bumps, right? Like I get razor bumps right here. Anytime I get this shaped up underneath here, I get razor bumps. I don't really get them here, but let's say you got somebody to get razor bumps. All right, and you're doing a shape up. Okay, consider the trimmers and the trimmer blades, and you're going over these razor bumps and you draw blood. That's a problem already. That's a opportunity to let's say you didn't wipe, you didn't clean off your trimmer blades and you didn't disinfect them, and you still have whatever you did to the previous customer with the trimmer blades, they're still on your blades, and you go over somebody's razor bumps and they draw blood. You could easily pass on certain bacteria that may cause an infection. I'm not saying that it will, but doesn't it make sense to clean your trimmer blades off and your clipper blades off and then disinfect them so that they're clean? Because let's say they do get infected, you don't know what kind of infection they may have, and you don't know if it's something that will turn into something bigger, or something that they could sue you over, or something that they could take any type of legal action against you about. So you want to make sure you have your bases covered. Well, what's the first thing that you can do? Clean your clippers and clean your trimmers. What's the second thing you can do? Disinfect them. And a lot of times what I like to do before and after every client, I like to let them see me cleaning and disinfecting all my stuff. Even though they probably just saw me clean and disinfect after their cut before I start as well. So you're going to see me clean and disinfect these clippers and these trimmers as they go. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of inside information. Okay. A lot of times I've had the same pair of trimmers for years. I damn near have to spray them as I go anyway, so they'll operate properly. All my barbers that do a ton of shape ups, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. Okay. MRSA is a big one. Yes, MRSA is a big one. I know we haven't talked about that one yet, but we'll talk about that too. All right. Next, let's talk about choosing a disinfectant. You must read and follow the manufacturer's instructions whenever you are using a disinfectant. Mixing ratios, meaning dilution or and contact time, the time is listed on the product label required for the disinfectant to be visibly moist to be effective against pathogens. Let me back up. All right. They got a long ass sentence. So let's talk about contact time, or let me read over the definition. Contact time is the time as listed on the product label required for the disinfectant to be visibly moist to be effective against pathogens. I will give you an example. Let's say you got combs. All right. You got a jar of Barberside. Barberside is the blue stuff, the dark blue stuff you mix with water and then it makes it a blue color or whatever. All right. Often referred to as a quaternary ammonium compound. Basically, the contact time is the time that you put the comb in there and it does what it's supposed to do as far as disinfecting the comb. All right. So if the contact time is 10 minutes, you put the comb in the in the Barberside, you put the comb in the Barberside for 5 minutes, take it out. Well, guess what? It hasn't been effective. It hasn't been effective, or it's been effective to some extent, but not to the extent that you need. All right. So if you look on the bottle of Barberside and it says average contact time 8 to 10 minutes, you know you need to leave it in there at least 8 to 10 minutes before you take it off, dry it off, spray it off, rinse in water and shampoo bowl, whatever, and then clean it off and dry it. That's what we mean by contact time. Now, with that being said, mixing ratios and contact time are very important and can vary widely based on manufacturer and delivery method. For example, most concentrates have a 10-minute contact time. This is a high percentage question, by the way. For example, most concentrates have a 10-minute contact time, whereas most wipes have a 2-minute contact time. Not all disinfectants have the same concentration, so be sure to mix the correct proportions according to the instructions on the label. If the label does not have the word concentrate on it, the product is already mixed and must be used directly from the original container and must not be diluted. All EPA registered disinfectants, even those sprayed on large surfaces, will specify a contact time in their directions for use. Disinfectants must have efficacy, which means, must have efficacy claims on the label. Here's what efficacy means. It's the ability to produce the intended effect. In other words, if I say it's 99.9% effective, it better be 99.9% effective. Just the labels should do what they say that they gonna do. That's all the efficacy means. All right. I know it's a foreign word, but all they just saying is this product does what it says it does. Otherwise, the EPA are probably going to sue you or shut you down or throw a big lawsuit on you. Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. All right. As applied to disinfectant claims, efficacy means the effectiveness with which a disinfecting solution kills organisms when used according to the label instructions. All right, before we go a little bit further, I want to talk a little bit more about contact time. Check this out. Beverly the girl, what's going on? Okay. As DJor symbol, welcome to the live. Appreciate you joining. Okay, let's talk about contact time. Let's talk about this is for my students that go take their practical. Okay. When you first start the practical, the first thing that they're going to look for you to do when they tell you for that practical exam, you may begin. The first thing you are going to do before you set all your stuff up, before you put anything on that table, we are going to clean. We are going to disinfect. Okay. We are going to clean. We are going to disinfect. Now, with that being said, a lot of times it is recommended that you use the official Barbicide wipes. You can't, not to say that you can't go get the disinfectant wipes, but if you get the Barbicide wipes, they tell you what the contact time is. And the contact time is probably about a minute to 2 minutes, like they said in the book. The reason I'm talking about this is they expect you to know about all of this because they expect you to read your CIB. Okay. For my Facebookers, that is this thing right here that is in front of you. They expect you to read the candidate information bulletin. With that being said, they expect you to clean your station. They expect you to disinfect your station. 2 different processes. So cleaning is just making sure physically, like scrubbing or taking a towel and wiping it off first, just making sure there's no dirt, debris, or anything like that on the table and that you get it off. The second thing is you taking those disinfectant wipes with their contact time and wiping your surface off. Now, if whatever the contact time is, you're going to make sure that you honor the contact time. Now, look, that's not to say that you can't go back over it with another towel and just make sure that everything is there's no moisture on your surface. Okay, the table is a non-porous surface. In South Carolina, you got to take it your surface that you're going to put all your equipment on and things like that. It is a non-porous surface, so that just means the moisture from the disinfectant wipes is not going to be absorbed in it. But make sure you clean, make sure you disinfect, and keep in mind respect for contact time. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about proper use of disinfectants. Implements must be thoroughly cleaned of all visible matter or residue before being placed in a disinfectant solution. This is because residue will interfere with the disinfectant and prevent proper disinfection. Properly cleaned implements and tools, which are free from all visible debris and dirt, must be completely immersed in a disinfectant solution. Complete immersion means there is enough liquid in the container to cover all surfaces of the item being disinfected, including the handles, for 10 minutes or for the time recommended by the manufacturer. Look on the back. Okay. When using an aerosol disinfectant, you must still look for and adhere to the contact time to ensure that all pathogens on the label are being effectively destroyed. So here go a few tips. Use disinfectant only on clean, hard, non-porous surfaces. And again, non-porous means it's not going to absorb the liquid. All right. 2, always wear gloves and safety glasses when handling disinfectant solutions. 3, always dilute products according to the instructions on the product label. If they tell you not to dilute it, damn it, don't dilute it. Okay. Especially in front of a proctor or somebody that's a proctor or an inspector. All right. An item must remain submerged in a disinfectant for 10 minutes unless the product label specifies differently. Again, check the back of your label. To disinfect large surfaces such as countertops, carefully apply the disinfectant onto the clean surface or use a disinfectant spray and allow it to remain moist for 10 minutes unless the product label specifies differently. Now, that's typical shop. Yes. Porous items should only be treated as single use. There you go. That's it. That's it. SE Nail Tech is on it, y'all. If y'all are not following SE Nail Tech 27, go follow right now. Okay. Yeah, always showing me support. I appreciate it. All right. If the product label states complete immersion, the entire implement must be completely immersed in a solution. Basically, just do what it say. Just do what it say. All right. Change the disinfectant according to the instructions on the label. If the liquid is not changed as instructed, it will no longer be effective and may begin to promote the growth of microbes. Now, remember, when we start talking about microbes, that includes those bacterial spores that cannot be destroyed by disinfection. I'm going to ask y'all a million times, okay? What is it that starts with an S that cannot be destroyed by disinfectants? All right. Let's see. I want to go there. Let's see what I want to go to. Let's see what our time frame is. Okay, yeah. We'll talk a little bit about types of disinfectants too. And then we will stop there. True. Unless you dilute it. But we'll get to that in a minute because that's actually one of the types of disinfectants. We'll talk about it though. All right, disinfectants are not all the same. Some are appropriate for use in the shop and some are not. You should be aware of the different types of disinfectants and the ones that are recommended for barbershop use. All right. First, we are going to talk about disinfectants that are appropriate for barbershop use. You have quaternary ammonium compounds, also known as quats, which we just talked about. All right. The most advanced type of these formulations is called multiple quats. Multiple quats contain sophisticated blends of quats that work together to significantly increase the effectiveness of these disinfectants. Quat solutions usually disinfect implements in 10 minutes. These formulas may contain anti-rust ingredients, so leaving tools in the solution for prolonged periods can cause dulling or damage. That's why I tend not to, I've seen people put like, shears and things like that in a quat solution, but I tend to use a different disinfectant for that because I don't want to rust my tools out. All right. They should be removed from the solution after the specified period, rinsed, dried, and stored in a clean covered container. All right. Phenolic disinfectants are powerful. Phenolic disinfectants are powerful disinfectants known as tuberculocidal, meaning they kill TB. Tuberculosis. They kill it. They destroy it. They are a form of formaldehyde, have a very high pH, and can damage the skin and eyes. Phenolic disinfectants can be harmful to the environment if you put down the drain. They have been used reliably over the years to disinfect tools. However, they do have drawbacks. Phenol can damage plastic and rubber and can cause certain metals to rust. Extra care should be taken to avoid skin contact with phenolic disinfectants. Phenolics are known carcinogens and as such should only be used in states that require or permit their use. All right, next, let's talk about sodium hypochlorite, aka bleach. Household bleach, which is 5.25% sodium hypochlorite, not hypochlorite, two different things. Do not get them confused. All right. It is an effective disinfectant and has been used extensively as a disinfectant in the barbershop. Using too much bleach can damage metals and plastics, so be sure to read the label for safe use. Bleach can be corrosive to metals and plastics and can cause skin irritation and eye damage. So again, just using concentrated bleach, not a good idea. Bleach, when it's diluted, according to manufacturer's instructions, can be very useful and effective. Just you're going to have to just make sure that you mix it though and dilute it properly. All right. To mix a bleach solution, always follow the manufacturer's directions. Store the bleach solution away from heat and light. A fresh bleach solution should be mixed every 24 hours or when the solution has been contaminated. After mixing the bleach solution, date the container to ensure the solution is not saved from one day to the next, but disposed of daily, similar to other disinfectants. Bleach can be irritating to the lungs, so be careful about inhaling the fumes. Even diluted, it has a 24. Yeah, we just said that. All right, petroleum distillates. Petroleum distillates have been used by barbers for decades and are generally very, very similar in chemical structure to kerosene. They are excellent at removing grime and oils from metals, but not all products in this classification are approved for use as disinfectants. It is important that you check the product to ensure that it is bactericidal, virucidal, and fungicidal. The product must also be EPA registered as a disinfectant. So I have never seen or used petroleum distillates in a shop, and I probably never will. Okay. All right. So we are going to stop there, class. If you or anybody that you know can use my help, I help barbers pass their theory. I help barbers pass their practical. But I have been contracted far more for helping people pass their theory. You can reach me at all platforms. I'll be doing, what am I going to call it? I'll be doing consultations. I'm welcoming consultations. I'm welcoming one-on-one study sessions, things like that. Send me a DM. You can find me, like I said, all platforms at Pierre Huey, Pierrehouey. Appreciate y'all. I will see you guys soon. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace. And I will see y'all soon too.